Here we go. Let's do this. I want to talk to you guys about my journey throughout the game and also my experience. But before we get started,
Hi.
there's key things I want to mention and what you guys should know. Once you start, let's start with the prologues. As we first get into the prologues and you beginning your journey in NGS, there's certain things that it will sway you. I'm not gonna convince you to not to play or to play it. I want you to follow my journey. Um, what I mean by that is the first contact. So far, when you're playing the game and you're learning how to use the mechanics and learning how to move and discovering what your character is throughout the game and with other NPCs that's gonna tag along with you every now and then, just mostly on the story mission. So going back to the prologues, as you could see, the requirement, you're just beginning, so it doesn't need to require anything of battle power or level. It pretty much you're the requirement. And as much as I would like to show you the prologues and other chapters, it's better, to make this faster. So you're gonna meet, I believe, Anna and Madden. I cannot recall her name. Oh, well, I kind of forgot. But I might say it right or wrong. So, whatever. So, throughout the story, you're learning how to use your mechanics and learning about NGS. And you're going to Alio Tower, or town, excuse me. Through that, it's kind of like they're trying to convince you to um, play, and it's pretty much like any other game. It's telling you that there's more through to the story that meets the eye. So come here, which is fine. They did somewhat a decent job, but I've noticed from the first contact and throughout the prologues, as I follow up to chapter 1, if you played Detroit Become Human, Detroit Become Human is basically that, depending on your decisions you make and kind of like favoritism of whether you're picking one or the other. Like Walking Dead of game, that your decision has consequences throughout the story. If it's you're telling to be honest and telling the truth, or you're compulsive liar, or in the middle, because there are times if you're telling someone that you're trying to care for or liking that certain character, you have to give them a white lie or her to kind of like protecting them, but also what you attend to because of your state of mindset, what so far as you're growing up or you already lived on certain times. So the decision you make can have consequences and hurt the NPC or the player itself. So at the end of the day, or the end game, whatever you have mentioned or tell them, lies or truth, it would follow up to like a ending, false ending, and true ending. Because what I say this, once you go into the prologues and and Anna tells you, I might be saying it wrong, so forgive me. She asking you, what is your name? And your choice is to tell her or not to tell her. Is there, even though they're trying to give that feeling of whatever decisions you make or say is going to affect you. I thought for a whole while up to chapter 5 that something is going to happen, that whatever I have been saying and agreeing or telling them this or that, it's going to affect the gameplay, how you play. But I overthinked, and it wasn't like that. So it was a bummer. Kind of like Persona, or I don't want to say Borderlands, but let's stick with Persona and Detroit Become Human. From there, you had to convince other NPCs. But in this case, NGS, it's not like that. I thought there's more to the story, how you find out.
Drop by anytime.
Other than that, what you see here is just dead NPCs. And there's no interactions, although this dude is, or chick, just standing there, not doing like a patrol, kind of like Division. In Division cases, the NPCs has their limits, their boundaries, right? But they also, it feels a little bit more lively. On the dynamic point of view, and how you're going to the open world to conquer point A to point B, like Division 2, Division 1, you have to increase the security. And there's going to be enemies patrolling, bosses, mini bosses, things like that, that you have to make it, safe for the community in a way. You could play as solo, you could play as with friends and with a group or clan, whatever you want to call it. You could do that. There's a lot of communication, and not just by text log that we have here, or voice chat. It's all about like understanding body language too. And NGS is they don't have that, or I don't know if it's the community that don't have experience, but I don't want to falter them as much. I'm mostly going to falter the developer team, or Sega, that didn't improve where they should have been focusing on from the get-go. But let's keep on going before I put other things that I shouldn't be saying at this moment of time.
Hi.
So going back to the main story mission, what I like from other games, and you know, I understand NGS is a casual game, or aiming more of a casual based standpoint of view. But I digress. I played other games that's completely casual, or you're able to play casually, like Borderlands, for an example, Division, Terra, and the list can keep going forward. Um, Persona, even though Persona is you play by yourself, and it's an offline game, and it can be online. Um, there are others like Final Fantasy, Destiny. Destiny is a triple A franchise. Also, it's pretty much aimed as casual. Even though it's like a shooter game and has like a role-playing MMO slightly of experience, but even so, you could take your time, and there are like fast pacing missions that you have to in order to get certain armor or weapons, um, trophy hunter, whatever you want to call it, you have to put an effort to do or to complete those certain tasks. In this case, all so far from limit of time quests and urgent quests, triggers, Nameless City, Lucille, dual quests, etc., etc. It's
Jump by any
and
time.
before I go even further, the sector zones, and also I want to say exploration zone or battle zone. I don't know the actual name for them because they don't have ranks. Sector zones has ranks. We'll get to that shortly. But going back to the story mission and prologues, things like that, it feels dull to the point that the story is not enough to complete the story. It's like about what 30 minutes, maybe to an hour, depending on your skill of noticing if you don't have a disability like color blindness, where I give a lot of props on in Activision point of view. They have colorblind mode in their game. I don't need to go to third-party source to improve or enhance my experience, because I'm not colorblind, but I know like 3 or 4 people that are colorblind. And if you guys seen certain content creators, there are colorblind content creators that sometimes they struggle every now and then because of their disability. I'm not saying that their disability is a bad thing or blaming on them. No, it's Sega and NGS developer team need to do something about for people that has disability. And I'm always for people for need an extra hand. Cause why I'm able to play a game and they can and I'm able to enjoy it playing any game or watching a movie, they should have the same right as I am. And your guys is right as well. Going back to this, for the right of gamers, most of MMORPG has playback value. What I mean by playback value is that story mission is key component of playback value, of starting from the prologues to the finish line. Another thing, if I have friends or someone is not even have the best coordination of an MMO, even though there might be people that may disagree on this, that why make the story mission co-op? Because it's too easy. Why we make it for the rest of the players that want to play in groups? You know, why? That's my question. Why can't we make the main story mission, task, whatever, or side quest, whatever it is, co-op friendly? Because I could see the potential of co-op friendly any type of content that we face. Like Destiny, for an example, Division. It's co-op friendly. I could understand prologues for you could get used to it or understand the mechanic, then how things functions. Once that is over, okay, maybe NGS wants to hold your hand a little bit on chapter 1. So you're like playing like the tutorial. Once you finish the prologues, the tutorial version. But there is a time that, you have to let it go of holding players' hand and let players be players and play the game. Because, and also why I say that, small developer teams in like Helldiver, for an example, I heard 2 or 3 YouTubers and a VTuber that talking about Helldiver and how their developing team, it's small, but smaller like indie games, they take higher risk. For high risk, for high reward, regardless if it's kind of buggy or have certain flaws in their game, but it rewards a lot of indie game or small companies because they take a certain risks. As triple A developer team like Sony from PlayStation, Xbox from Microsoft, Nintendo, Sega, they're the 4 honchos. But those type of companies take lower risks and they play the safe game. So they could have the guaranteed of people coming back and things like that. But it's not always a guaranteed. Having a risk factor and a reward factor can sway, but also to keeping it as a safe as possible can hurt you in multiple ways, and also maybe could save you if you play it safe. But how much you're gonna be playing safe that it's not gonna, or it's going to stop biting you in the ass. Just saying, because so far, Fantasy Star developer teams haven't taken much risks lately, or what I have seen, or what people have been telling or saying. Why? Why? So far, why? Here's another thing. Anthem. They played it. They risked certain things to gain the reward factor of, a Destiny killer game. Woo. But they played it safe and not fixing certain issues. And what happened? You're not hearing much about Anthem as of now. It's very quiet, and it's been many years that they have said that they're going to do an overhaul. Did they? I don't know. Because I stopped playing the game once they shut off the servers. And also, going back to like Cyberpunk, they had almost certain the same issue, but they were stealing from the consumers and telling lies. What happened? It bit them in the ass, and they had to apologize, but they didn't want to at first. You could look it up for yourself. What happened? What I have seen, they took off the game in PlayStation Store, almost completely permanent, till they apologized. The company had to apologize and reimburse other players that want to return the game, or something, compensation. Not conversation, but conversation. Damn it, I'm saying it wrong. I know. Reimbursing them, regardless what it is. So they able to fix the issue, but gaining the trust of most of the majority of the fans, it's it's swaying, but other players have been easy to forgive. But you shouldn't forget. Going back to here, the story mission, it's mid, and it needs work. They need to focus on the story mission, and also going back, like I'm saying, they need co-op, more co-op. Not make it easy, because like Borderlands, for an example, there's replay back value and is co-op friendly. Even if you first time that you bought the game, you could instantly play with someone else. It's that easy. NGS should have done that in the beginning of the game. So if people are maybe a little struggling, they have a friend there, regardless what level, power level they are. They could just, have fun and enjoy, because that's the point of any game. Enjoy yourself and de-stress and just play the game. But people is taking it to heart.
Drop by anytime.
So what about it's Sega makes it too easy to the point that it's not advertising enough for the middle man. What I mean by that is there are three type of players in NGS. There is casual, min-maxers, and hardcore players. How can you benefit each and every player that regardless of their play style? I'd say there is a way to improve not just our style, but also the value of your time. And how can we be more satisfied and like the game even more? Here's what. If you go to the open world, we have the exploration world, or exploration zone, excuse me, and you have sector zone. To fix it and improve the quality of players' time and how we get Meseta, better loot, RNG drops, so on and so forth, is by, this is one key component. What Genshin Impact has done and improved certain things. Hear me out. As you could see, we have the rank on sector zone from 1 to 6, also 10 to 90 on Alio. So we need a new purpose of how we see this rank level, and it has to go by not battle power, it has to go by level, because at this moment of time we're level 90. We're gonna increase our level to 95 and 100. So before that, and say it could bring more content to us, they could focus on that, but also focus and improve or slightly overhaul the regions. This is why. For players can come back, and players that's new to this game, and also players that's already here, we need world rank. Why I say that? World rank is that if you go to the exploration zone, the monsters is gonna be level 1, and in certain areas there's gonna be like a mini boss. The monster's gonna be level 15. That's as high as you can go. But here's a catch and a twist. Like Genshin Impact, to get improving loot and improving rarity, you need to improve world rank. So world rank, as of now, let's say we are level 1. To get to 2 and get better quality of gear, weapons, and materials or items, and also Meseta, you have to level up world rank from the first region. And as players coming in, and like I said, level has to be concentrated on that first, not power level. We're not there yet to scale above and beyond, like on LTQ and Urgent Quest. They're based on power level that they shouldn't be based on. They should based on power level. So it gives a chance for people to have access to play with their peers and able to get equipment if they can. Because like Destiny, I want to say, in Destiny, how we prepared ourselves to going to our first raid, or learning how to get prepped to certain dungeons and tasks and main mission stories. And there, sometimes you're level capped, but leveling your cap is pretty easy. Just getting your gear, the equipment to follow up to match your level. That's where we're at. We're not at, sorry. We're downgraded to our power scale. So if you could see, my battle power is in the 4,000. That's not matching our level, excuse me. Because battle power right now doesn't mean shit. The weapons that you have, armor, don't mean nothing as of yet because it's unbalanced, and also we haven't reached to max cap of 100. So, and 100 will be able to be a balanced level, a balance. If you take off your armor, you'll be balanced. So now is to go beyond the cap of battle power. I mean, excuse me, your power level. So now you're looking forward to battle power to increase your pretty much your stats and your assets. That's what Sega or NGS didn't improve or get to that level. How we could perform better. That's why there are certain things that we might think it's overpowered, but technically it's not overpowered. It's just that they didn't have an answer to improve our character. So they just, adding little bits here and little bits there and say, hey, you're getting leveled up with your battle power. But technically, you're not. You're leveling up your level. Your level power has to be improved before you get to using battle power. Because they want to push two things at once. We haven't faced the end boss to increase or, shift the game completely. Because like Destiny, when you go to a raid or about to go to a raid, you need a level cap and a battle power requirement to enter a raid. So you're going to be, let's say, to enter a raid, you have to be, your first raid, you have to be 1,000 and 1,580. Let's just say that for argument's sake. From that point, once you're able to reach that cap, now you have to progress your battle power. To progress your battle power is by focusing on raid. Because raid is going to improve your equipment and also make it easier for you on that first rate and down. And then once newer content comes in, you're increasing your battle power, but also there's no battle power cap. So your in currency game will increase, your materials will increase, and so on and so forth. But they haven't done that. Well, for the sake of the argument, let's say they did. But what's their accomplishment? What's their goal, the end goal? First of all, we don't have no end goals. We don't have goals. We're just, mindless zombie doing whatever, shits and giggles, and the focus is on outfits. You have to buy outfits to get to your own end game. Outfits shouldn't be the end game. But let me digress. In your first raid, the armor is going to be hard to get. You probably get 1 or 2 pieces. And then you have your camos that to improve or to change your outfits and to color your outfits, that was part of the end game. But your gear is, the main picture. That's your selling point to get further to another content. NGS hasn't done that. They're going by weapon series, minimum of what you can get for each and every class. 1 weapon for each and every class. Is there an end game for that? No. Is there rarity involved? No. Rarity is just a shiny, a shiny thing. Or, a sweet candy. Ooh, here's the candy. Ooh, here's another candy. Different star rarity. Ooh, ooh, ooh. But rarity doesn't mean shit. So, going here, and look, a bowl of noodle. That's pretty much what they're giving you. They're giving you here and that, like, here's another, picture of it when that person just showed a bowl. The NGS is pretty much giving you this food of bowl, and it's your favorite food of bowl. You're eating it, and the first time when you eat it, you're like, oh, this is amazing, this is cool, this is sweet, this is so delicious. But once you keep eating the same thing over and over, what happens? You get bored. You start to dislike that food because they're giving you the same thing. They're not adding or changing the recipe of the dish. They're giving you the same thing over and over till you get tired of it, or you're throwing up on it and you're like, this is too much of the same thing. I want a different flavor. I want something else. Give me something. That's what everyone's waiting for. They're waiting for that something, that other, that sweet or that spicy or tangy, whatever flavor that you're craving or whatever food that you're craving, something different. But they're not giving it to us. Each and every content, they're like, okay, here's a little dash of spice or a dash of cinnamon, whatever. Like Powerpuff Girls, spice, sugar, sweet, you know, and then add the chemical X to make this perfect little girl. This is pretty much what they're doing. And then till you're like, I'm over it, or, I got old enough. It's like that. Till they give you something new. I digress. Till they give you a better content that isn't the same thing and repeating the same shit over and over again. Copy and paste. Then you're pretty much playing whatever it is from the older generation of games of Phantasy Star Online. Just saying. It's the truth. Maybe people won't like the truth. Maybe people will disagree, debate, or saying that no, that's a lie. You're fake, you're fraud. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm saying it is black and blue. But I'm not saying that you shouldn't enjoy the game. I'm not saying you shouldn't be playing the game. No. It's the experience, what I have seen, what I have witnessed, and what I have from my journey and my own experience. So from there, if they could implement of the exploration world ranking and increase and change certain formulas here and there, kind of like Genshin Impact, but better of that world rank, that would be fantastic. That would be something new, excuse me, that we have to revisit a replay value. But again, and then they will be able to bring a newer content. It's just, what I've seen that they have missed, and maybe focus something that they shouldn't be focusing, and certain things like this they should be working on. I don't know. Here's for you could understand better what I'm telling you. So, see this, can I see the rank? Okay, see? This moose is level 1. It'd be nice it could change that. The only thing is that purple, see, this guy is level 15. If he's not purple. Yep, he's 15. That's the mini boss. But each and every materials, weapons, it's, once you're beginning, it's like, wow. But once you played it for so long, the world hasn't changed. The monster hasn't really changed. They add certain monsters around, let's see. If I go over there, then you'll kind of see what I mean. Oh, you know what? Scratch that. what like once you're going to urgent quest or LTQ and you want to get out, right? Getting out, you have to go to communications, go to parties, and abandon quest. That's 6 or 5 steps too much. Let's say if I'm in a LTQ or urgent quest, I should be able to go 1, go to world 2, and we'll have a bar that says, do you want to abandon quest? Yes or no. That simple, that easy. That's how it should have been. So, what else? Oh, let's visit. Is it the coach? Yeah.
Thanks for stopping by.
Where you change your class. This is like one of my pet peeves on certain games. But I could understand other games. But this is a MMO RPG. So you have to visual with me. So right here you have your change of class, your loadouts, and your skill tree, right? And you have your Mars system. Okay.
Anytime, okay?
And also add-on skill. Add-on skill, we could just leave it like that.
Okay?
But let's say I'm in the exploration zone or urgent quest, or if I want to prep myself, right? How would I prep myself or my character, for an example, and like any other games? How would you prep? You're getting your like potions, your revivals, things like that, etc., etc. But in NGS, you cannot really prep. You have to go out in the exploration zone, excuse me, to get the green flower or the yellow flower. But also the device, it just slightly give you a buff. And like Monster Hunter, if you eat certain ingredients or food or whatever, it gives you a certain buff that you need to complete in a certain quest depending on your skill. So I'll leave that alone for now, but let's refocus on the coach, things like that. Okay, so if I press my settings, and if you look here, the gear subpalette, I would like to go here and like if I wanted to prep my character, like what weapons I need, you know, what gear I want, and what type of loadout that I want to be looking for. I don't see I can change my class, because certain games you could change your class on the go. You cannot do that here. You cannot change your loadout here in this equipment menu screen. It would be nice to have change class, your loadout, and once you visit your loadout, or
anytime,
no,
okay?
excuse me, I digress. Once you visit your equip weapon and your armor, if you have everything set, Then underneath would be loadout. So you could save your loadout, how you were prepping it, and from there, if you want to change any skills, you should be able to click on your what's it called? Click on skills and play with it there, because what if a friend or your alliance is saying, hey, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, are you prepped? Are you in the level? Because people just, do their everyday, this is my everyday equipment. I don't really change my equipment because everything I do is with the same equipment. I don't change it. On like Borderlands, for example, I have elemental gear, I have non-elemental, I have certain weapons for certain bosses, things like that. And also Destiny, Division, I have things I'm prepared for. Here, I'm like, okay, one, done. And loadout, as you could see, I could put from 1 to 21, but it's not encouraging. Sega and NGS is not encouraging me to make my loadouts, not encouraging me enough to improve my weapons or my armor. That is a big factor here, that it's not encouraging players to improve their gear or to be well equipped. Like I'm saying, each and every region here, to get to red temp, your level requirement should be to get prepped and go to red temp. You have to be at the very least you're level 30 or level 20, because all this you have to do and more for you could prep yourself whatever challenges is going ahead. So like I said, level 30 or 35 for you could get to your next destination. So your next destination would be here in Retemp. And once you complete and Retemp and going to Kavaris, the requirement is to be at a certain level. It's not about battle power as of yet. So your main focus is going to be to get to Kavaris level 40 or 50 to get to Kavaris. And from Kavaris, you have to be level 60 or 70 to enter to Stia. That's how I would done it for each and every region. So like that, you max out yourself at Stia at level 90. And if they ever make another content for you could reach 95 and 100, it should be in Nameless City that you need to get Meseta, materials, items, and equipment to increase your level cap 100 forward. A level cap that is going to introduce you to the new content. From there, once you max out your level cap 100, now it's going to ask you because it's gonna gatekeep you there. From there, you're gonna focus on battle power. And battle power, we might be on 2000. So it gives Sega or NGS wiggle room to improve the region that we have so far, the environment and enemies, and how we gain Meseta, and how we gain other things slowly, and power creeping slowly. So once we probably get to that boss that's level, what, 1999, then we'll be more of prepared and is making a lot of players to increase their gear if they so want to, or if they just want to be in a sweet spot that they could do any other task and challenges but still gain Meseta, and they could play with the player's market if they so want to, because kind of like Terra, you have choices on what you want to do. And for like Division, you could play the whole game and go to the end game without being gate kept. The only gate kept is from DLCs and also certain equipments that's not in the vanilla game. So far, to me, what I see, I don't know for a fact, but how I see, we haven't finished the vanilla game. We're just in the state of the game as of now. So our power level still increasing and still continuing till our power level is locked to set 100, or if we're going to go further than 100, our battle power should be locked for now till we are level capped. So it would be another new experience to level up or grind for. But also Sega needs to address and change the series of weapons and armors and augments, because whatever series we have, augments and any equipment will follow, so it's less. So they should learn from Borderlands or Division, one shape or form, or any other game. It doesn't need to be what I've mentioned, but having enough armors, weapons, and the materials to improve your character would be, a broad range that you could do something, make something. That's why we have roles in certain games. And what class do you want to perform the best or improve on it? But even though I can digress a lot of things, but also Sega needs to learn to change and be better and able to adapt further. Not just playing safe, but also risk taking. That's all I want to say for now. And there's more coming. So stick around. Peace out.